Hello, peeps. I am Tidbit. Me and my figures are girls, and today's showcase is of Soundwave from the Bumblebee movie. And look at this flying pancake. I love it. It's so nicely shaped. And, fun fact, this is one of my grails. So, I have that collected, and it's all here. Now, why is it a grail? Because I had these three first. Little cubes that are supposed to. You go here. This is just a stand, so it can do that thing. But under here, there's a button. Push that, and a spring-loaded door opens up. And then you put these in. But note that there's a little notch cut out here. You cannot put it in like this. You have to put it in where the notch is facing outward. So that way, just put that in there. There's right down here where the notch lines up is part of the door mechanism, so it can actually close properly and be a little bombarder. It's harder to do with this crate, but it is much easier to do with Ravage. This one you can do either side because they did a cutout between the gray and the black here and a little black triangle there. Just close it up, and then while it's flying over, bow! Frickin' love that. And then just to show you, this one done the wrong way, because it's the same notch, both sides. So if we put it in the wrong way, we'll be able to see that when we try and close this, even when pushing the button down, it's kind of ebbing at the edge here. I can put my finger between it. And then, to easily get it out, you can just take this windshield, open it up, push through. And it goes all the way through. So you can just, ta-da! Ain't that amazing? I love this idea for what Soundwave can be that isn't a cassette player, a bombarder that drops the minions. And speaking of the minions, we'll just have Soundwave sit back there, because we're going to start with the minions. And we'll start with Ravage, because we've already taken off this piece. Next, you are going to want to take off these two missiles, and then we can pull out this whole tail. Next, you're going to want to flip out these feet, and then disconnect this from here. And when you're transforming back into box mode, I find that I'm always, trying to bend the knees like so, and then it doesn't work. So the best way to do it is to hold it down where it's pegged in and then push it like so. You're trying to rotate like this to get this as upward as possible, and then it creates the perfect opening to put that there. So we're just going to take these, bend them like so on both sides. Then we're going to do this. You're taking this whole gray bar and you're rotating from this position down here. And then you just take the tail and you click it down. You can see it's the tiniest little click to lock it in. I was going insane when I first got Ravage, because Ravage was the first one I got. And oh my goodness, I did not know that mechanic was there, that I had to pull up the tail slightly to get the legs to move. It was very snug, but I watched a video and learned. Then you take off this little panel piece and you put it on her back with this silver bar more towards the head, so it does a nice arch. And here's Ravage. Very small, scary-looking cat with opening mouth. Pretty fun. And then if you don't have Soundwave to put this on, you can just stick this on the underbelly for an overpowered gun. So we'll just leave Ravage there, and then we'll work on Rumble and Frenzy. So let's start with Frenzy. And I'm going off of this one is Frenzy, and this one is Rumble because of their instructions. Changes all the time. But first, you're going to want to open it up like so. Next, we're going to split these parts, disconnect these little guns, and then fold toes down, take the arms, rotate like that, and then just uncompress the arms like so, and flip around the head. And then you can give the little blasters. I like to do square hole gun on their left side and the round hole gun on their right side for their configuration. And boom, here is Frenzy. Just a tiny little bot, no hands of their own, just little thumpers. And has some artillery on the back, if it ever comes to that. They don't like to stand up. Oh, and I forgot, Ravage has even more weapons. You take these missiles, you stick them into the sides of the legs. Like so. Boom. Now Ravage is really dangerous. And we'll just quickly transform Frenzy. You can do the arms first, so when you disconnect the legs and start pulling these off, you can just immediately put them on the back. Like so. And we have all of Soundwave's mini-bots, so it's just about time to do Soundwave herself. So, let's transform them. First, we're going to want to take off the guns. And then it really is just a flying pancake. Next, take these claws, move them in, and then you are going to want to disconnect the spots here. It is this spot that connects to this peg. Next, do the other side, and then in the middle, we are splitting things apart. This is a tiny little tab here. It went in the top part of this T shape. And then once you do that, you're going to want to just extend all of this out and away. And when you're transforming it back into robot mode, I suggest that you bend this knee part first, then do the rest, and it'll just all come together. So, you do that on both sides, and then we're going to rotate these here, which also, when you're going into vehicle mode, you're going to want to rotate this all the way it can go, and that is how it is positioned, so everything lines up here and here. Next, take the tiny tabs, fold them in, take the larger panels, fold those in, and then rotate the feet down, around, and then up, because it's got multiple points of movement. You're just trying to get it like so. Next, take this back panel, spin this small part, and then spin the whole thing. Put the little small part up onto a tab, and then close this back area. Come to the front, lower the crotch guard if you had it there. Disconnect the arm from this tab and this slot. Rotate, and do that on both sides. Next, you're going to come here, and then rotate this whole thing away, because it latches onto this clip here with these holes here. Once you have done that, you can rotate the arm up like so, and then close up these panels, rotate the arm down, and then flip out the hand. And there's a little tiny notch right here to grab on to pull it out. Do that on the other side. And then finally, spin the head around and boom. Here we have Soundwave. And we're not fully done, just like all the mini-mots before her. They all have little things that you take off and put back on. we have the same. We've got this here, which can be used as a gun. And if you have Ravage, you can make it look even more cartoon accurate. If we just take off this part and plug it into the end of a non-standard port, that slightly ticks me off, but this is a Studio Series thing. They don't really jive well with many of the other figures. And then we have the second gun. Put in the offhand. And boom, now they are fully prepared to battle. And if you want the classic look, you can take off the end, and with the handle of this, you can rotate this down, and then come to the back side, and there's 2 ports on the back, so you can actually choose which side you want it on. We'll just do the side that doesn't have the button on it. And boom. Here we have Soundwave with the shoulder-mounted thing. It can be a cannon, it can be like just storage, receiver, antenna, whatever you want. And this still functions. And I have Rumble here to go back into box mode to demonstrate. Take these, put them back, connect to the other leg without everything falling off. Close it on up, like so, and just slide that in place. And boom, one of them is gone. And you can even, in this form, open up the back and slide them out if you move the cannon out of the way. See? Boom. Fits all the way through. Now, we're not here just to show that everything can go through anything. We are here for fan modes. All 4 of them. So, let's start with the mini-bots. We'll start with Frenzy here. And what we are going to do is, it's mostly done, to be honest. All we are doing is just taking the guns, and you can put them together, like so, and even have Soundwave holding these as like an even smaller blaster. But you take these and you specifically have it in this configuration where this one's tiny post handle, come on, focus, is up while this one is down. And then you take and you put it into the leg where the square pegs go. You connect those up. Then you're just going to crunch it down until everything looks like so. Because it's a lot of, you got to move the waist, you got to move the legs, you got to move these ball joints. And then just rotate the gray bits at the end. And this is it. This is a crossbow. And there's a hole on the back of Frenzy and Rumble's head that you can theoretically put something into. It's a non-standard port size, so I haven't been able to find anything. But if you want a weapon for your other bots, here is a design. You can also kind of fake this as a flyer. Just kind of rotate these bits down, so that way when it does land, it's not fully on the head. And you can fake it as a little flying thing. So if we have a little flyer, what other things do we have? Let's do Ravage. All of them have too many names. We're just going to put the head away, take the panel from the top, put it under, put front legs back on the little posts, but then keep the feet flipped like so. Take off these little missiles and throw them really far. Next, we are going to take the legs and kind of spin them up like so, and then disconnect the whole waist, move it down, but make sure the legs keep on pointing this direction with the white till it gets to about here. Next, you're going to want to crunch this knee, and then move that toe up. You do that on the other side. You do the toe specifically last because everything is going to their maximum, and then this is just touching the edge. And we are nearly done. Just take the tail, bend it down, and bend the spike out. So when it's down on the ground, it's a little spiked tank. And if you're not using this part up here with Soundwave, you can make it kind of an extra tank with a gun on top of it. And if you're not using these for anything, just take them, put them on the side with this little top part of the missile facing down, line them up, so that way they look like little thrusters, boosters, or blasters on the side. And boom, you have a tiny little terror tank that can poke at people's feet. It's adorable. And then finally, we have another thing that Soundwave could bombard the field with. Just take all of this, close the toes, rotate the arms so they're facing the head. Take the gun, put it in the same configuration as the other one with the handles, with this handle up and this handle against. But then we're going to put it on the circle post between the legs. And then we're just going to crunch everything down till it looks like this. And this is the final Minibot configuration, a hover tank. And this would just be adorable. Just box falls out of the sky, transforms into this little thing, and just rolls around, shoots. It's adorable. Now, what could be dropping all these things? What could use them? Well, Soundwave, of course. So, let's transform her into the fan mode. We're going to take off the gun, and take away the gun, and we're going to spin the head around, open up, shoulder pads, rotate them up, rotate them down to click in, like so. Then fold the fist in and leave it like that. Fold the fist in, rotate these as far down as you can, so they are at about this position. Next, take this piece and just open it up like so. Take the waist plate, move it, spin the entire waist around, take the feet, rotate them out, rotate them down and around till they look like this on both sides. Take the legs, crunch up the knees, move up the knee pads, and just rotate these back legs to properly sit. And this doesn't really look like much. It's a strange device or even a creature. But the most important factor is that with all these legs sitting down, the door can open unimpeded. And it even, if we take Ravage, quickly put them into box mode, because Ravage is the best to show without pushing much where the boxes will land. Take that, rotate all of this around, Scrunch it up. Close up the tail. Put the missiles back. And then you can very easily just take this, drop it through, push the button, and it can even slide over and move past. So you can leave little boxes all over the place. Now, to upgrade this creature, this spindly thing, we're going to take this cannon, and there is a screw hole right here, but it is standard port size, so you can stick that here and have this crawler that shoots or it's just the eye. And then, for just extra detailing, you can take this gun, put it on the side here, and now it looks like it has an antenna. But now you're thinking, oh, with the gun there, you now can't put a box through because this part ebbs out a tiny bit. So boom, box doesn't fit anymore. But you can just very easily move this up, move this down, move it down like so, and boom, there is a box. And then you can just, once you've done that, put the antenna back up and the little canopy down, because I imagine that you can theoretically have a little headmaster sitting back here shooting. And so, yeah, you can treat the boxes like they are little drones to be deployed, or they are the shells for the cannon, like bam, unload, load another gun, and stuff like that. There's just so many possibilities with this one. I love it. And so, that is about it. Thank you for watching. Like the video, share it around, comment your thoughts, check out the playlist for previous videos, and subscribe to be notified when new ones come out. Bye-bye!